Hi, we're going to continue with creating a Canvas support platform for your classroom. And now we're going to create quizzes. And personally, I use quizzes my for my students to practice and study the vocabulary, and also because it allows students to come ask me questions on the results based on their own results of the quizzes. And the first thing that you would end up doing is to create a quiz right away. However, if you are like me that would like to have the students practice those quizzes, because studying on paper is different from studying on the computer, you would want to have question banks, and you want to have question banks for each chapter. And actually what I do is create the question banks with many questions that I come up with using always the vocabulary and grammar of the chapter, and then I use those to create practice quizzes and my actual quizzes. So I always type the name of the chapter. If you do it by the topic, what happened to me is, because I taught different levels and classes, then it was hard to remember, well, is this topic from chapter 1 or chapter 2, when the students would tell me I need to retake this or that. So what I do is start with lección preliminar in this case, lección preliminar, and then I enter vocabulario or grammar depending on the bank. So if there are two types of vocabulary topics in a chapter, I would do 1 and 2, but if you want to just have all in one, you would do this. So if also Spanish 1, Spanish 2, and Spanish 3, or your classes have the same chapters, what I do is I write the acronym for the book. So así se dice 1. And what I do, press enter, and that saves the word bank, the title for it. So then what you want to do is to click on it, and you can start adding questions. The questions you are adding on, you can choose from different types of questions. So from multiple choice, true, false, fill in the blank, fill in multiple blanks, multiple answers, multiple drop downs, matching, numerical answer, formula question, essay question if you want students to type or copy paste the text they wrote somewhere else, or file upload question, and search your text, no question. So let's start with a multiple choice, and por ejemplo, choose the best answer to the question. ¿Cómo estás? So the correct answer is the one you type here, and yo estoy bien. Oh, then possible answers that would not be correct would be estás mal o estás bien. Está bien, or soy bien. So in this case, I'm giving students 4 options to choose from. You can, of course, do only 3 or 4, and it will, yeah, I mean, it's up to you. Then you can add another one. We're going to have, por ejemplo, we're going to have one with fill in the blank, complete with the right word. note diciamo là, so como te in this case would be llamas. So if you know that your students are going to be maybe typing in capital letters, you can also do this. These will count wrong if the students add a space because they set up the spelling and grammar dictionary here. So it will tell them if it's misspelled, and that's why usually they add a space. Well, if they add the space, it will count it wrong. So make sure to tell the students not to add spaces at the end of an answer. And also if it's supposed to be capitalized and they do not, it counts it wrong, or the other way around. So in this case, for the first test, I give them both options. Later on, it's when they start getting used to this format of taking tests and quizzes, they get better at it. So you would continue adding on questions depending on the type of the questions you want to test, and usually I have a variety of questions so it's not too boring and they just do not always fill in the blank or multiple blanks if you want to enter like a text and then have them fill in with verbs. So completely up to you, and you can use the quizzes that they give you. So these would be word bank, course question banks. And what you want to do is you want to go back to quizzes, and now you'll be ready to create a quiz. So you'll be having many more questions. And you'd say lección, you would title the new quiz as lección preliminar vocabulario, because we want to test this. Now here, usually what I do, I include some information on how to type accents and remind students. So you cannot use online translators or nor any other materials. And this would be for an actual quiz. So for now, this is a graded quiz. If you wanted to create a practice quiz, I would add here that you can use your notes, but not any other materials. You can only take this quiz under the instructor's supervision using any materials, sweeping the screen, and other tricks will forfeit the use retaking quizzes for the rest of the semester. So cheating will forfeit their ability to retake quizzes here on Canvas, and of course they don't want that. That helps them get their grade up and motivates them to study more, of course. So here we have it as a quiz. You can create different types of groups of assignments depending on where you are at. You always want to shuffle the answers. I limit the time, so if it has, I give about, for the actual quizzes, I give 20 to 30 seconds per question. And, excuse me. And the practice quizzes, though, they have like at least a minute to find the answer. I can allow multiple attempts because they can retake them. So then you have to make sure that you click on allowed attempts, and also I want them to keep the highest score. I let them see their their quiz responses. I never let them see the correct answers, because if they make a mistake, they need to be able to find the answer on their paper. And usually what I do also to keep track that of what they are doing and how, so they can only see their quiz responses once after each attempt, because that's when they just took it, and that's when they can come and ask me, what did I do wrong? It prevents the possibility of cheating. And then also I click on show one question at a time. Log questions after answering. I usually do not do that, but it's up to you. And assign it to everyone for Spanish 1 in that class. And I make it due on the day of the test, for example. And but I have it available until a week before the end of the semester. And then I would have it available from the moment I create it. And of course, you want to save it and publish, maybe. Publishing means that the students will be able to see it. Now, we did not enter the questions, of course. I apologize. So you would click on questions. And of course, you can add questions right away. That's what I used to do. And that was a terrible idea, because then I wanted to create a quiz from a practice quiz I had created, and I did not have things like I did not have my word banks here, so it was very difficult. It was just word banks questions that were uncategorized, and then I had to read part of them. So yeah, it was a lot of extra work. So you select the questions you want to have, and that's it. And then you can create a question group if you want to set them up as by topics, or if you want to have a comprehensive exam at the end of the semester, which, I mean, this would allow to do that very easily. And yeah, it's pretty cool. Anyways, so then you just post it and save it. And what you can do that helps a lot to students, it's when you have the lección preliminar and you have a quiz on the lección preliminar, you go to adding an assignment or add an item to the lección preliminar, and you can go to quizzes, and here you have your quiz. So to differentiate the content from vocabulary, which I did not write here that it was a quiz, and you can always change that here. So and I'll go home, and you have quiz vocabulary. So students know how to have this set up, and then you can increase an indent, so everything that is in here, after going over the content, they can do the practice of the vocabulary. Then you can have the quiz de vocabulario, then a grammar one, and as many items as you want in here. What do you now want? You could create also discussion here for your classes, and if you create a discussion for the students to participate on about a video you tell them to watch or anything, then you could, of course, create a discussion. And all these, I mean, can be transferred and copied for next here. So any work you do here on Canvas, it doesn't go to waste. So what you want to do then for the future, for example, discussion, ¿qué te gusta? So for Spanish one, answer the question, with 3 things or activities that you would like to do. And 3 things or activities that you do not like to do. Comment on another student's reply or answer. And reply by expressing whether you like those or not. So these are encouraged, and you can even then give them an answer. Ejemplo, me gusta ir a la, bueno, we'll keep it simpler. Me gusta Colorado, la pizza y la familia. No me gusta la tele, hacer nada y la violencia. So things, and more or less all of them except probably this one and maybe la tele. They'll be wondering, but they can always look things up. Then you can allow thread replies. Users must post before seeing replies. That's for sure one, because they reply to their, they post their answer, and then they can answer and reply to others. So that would be good. And of course you want it to be graded, and you can even allow liking to something. And so if this is a group discussion, you can create groups and possible points, display grade, and you can do this complete or incomplete just to help students also, maybe extra credit points if they do this. And probably you'll be surprised how much participation you'll end up having. And again, another of the assignment groups, and you can create a new group for discussions, and again this assigning it to whatever section you want it to, and then you can have other classes participate and get to know each other. So this is very cool. Oh, and then you want to save it and publish. So all this stuff you're working on now, it will pay off by you being able to copy a course. And you can copy this course and please enter the details for the new one. So then you can just Spanish 1 and then 2018 for next school year, for the next year, and then you can already start the date and end the date. You can then select the specific content for that or everything, and you can even you can even adjust events and due dates, which I don't usually have this. So this is very, very cool, because all the work from last year, now I just have to tweak and fix a little things and typos from maybe a quiz or things that I hadn't noticed before. You can even take attendance roll here on Canvas and keep all the information you need available. So this would be it for now, and let me know if you have any questions. My email is tenachironesl@ Barton Video. So this, or at ldits@smokyvalley.org. So let me know if you have any questions, and I'll be happy to